It is. I've always felt that Footscray had such a tremendous home ground advantage. We see Hargraves and Langford exchanging words. And this year they've played a number of games at the MCG in trying to, change the structure of their club and play on the big and better grounds. And I think that home ground advantage, where they nearly always won 6 or 7 games for the year and then just picked up 3 or 4 games elsewhere, has gone against them in terms of winning games. Woods goes short, looking for check as the siren sounds. So Footscray played well for the first 10 minutes lead and then just folded.
Well, we didn't. We spoke about it. It was a couple of a free kick down the field that resulted in a Dunstall goal and a 50-metre penalty that resulted in a Langford goal, and that sort of just got the momentum going against for Hawthorn. And then really the last part of the quarter they completely dominated until that sort of almost consolation goal by Footscray. But given the scoring that's happening in this game, I mean, a 7-goal margin, 42-point margin, is something that the way Footscray are scoring, it's going to take a long time to overtake that.
Yeah, Scotty Wine there just not happy with something that Hargraves has done, and the Hawthorn players pointed to the scoreboard, which, I mean, I prefer not to see that in a team that I was involved with, because anything can happen in a game of footy, and if you play long enough, Kevin, you've got long memories with it.
Yes, and you can always point to the scoreboard on another day, but at 3/4 time, Hawthorn 11-10, 76, well in control. The Bulldogs are 5-4, 34.
Yeah, so it's all in readiness now for the start of the third quarter. There's a blood rule before we get going, so the game will not start. It's amazing, isn't it, with the time of training? So something's happened. Looks like Rowan Smith in that nose, so they've obviously tried to stop it, and it started as he's probably got a bit warm. The blood started to flow again, if that's the medical term.
I got a feeling the quarter started. Officially the clock's running, or what? Because they've blown the siren, he's put the ball up in the air. Certainly the time clocks around the ground haven't altered, so obviously it hasn't.
Ilya Grigic comes on up in the forward line. So let's say we officially start the last quarter, Hawthorn v Footscray, and the Hawks apparently well in control. Salmon and Wine. Wine jumps well. Courts McCabe in underneath. Salmon taps it back. Falls back to Ramiro. Kicks the ball high. Players come at it. Langford from behind's been very good tonight. Collins sneaks out the back door and goes bang towards the boundary line. And the ball will roll over as Johnson gets it. No, gets it inside, but it is out. Tricked me for about a half a stride as Rowan Smith with his nose. Bleed problem. Just tries to stop his nose. There's Watts in the background, also with stitches tonight, I think, from an accidental cut on the forehead. And there's also Scotty West, as Neil mentioned, with a shoulder injury. So tap. Wine tries to throw the ball forward. Here's Crawford. Tries to take him on court. Held on to too long, surely. Must get the free kick. Libber goes back for it, but he really was held on to too long.
Neil might be able to check for us whether whether Jason Watts will come back onto the ground, because he's kicked 3 out of their 5 goals. So he's been very important up there on the forward line. Collins goes wide, finds Lawrence tucked in the back pocket. This sets up Tony Woods. Hargraves has had a very poor night, been on and off the ground, steps over the line. So Chris Grant looks like he may have injured a calf muscle.
Yeah, about Sunday morning they hurt.
So Hawthorn by 42 points. Dunstall's kicked 10 at full forward, and Langford at full backs kicked 1. Callett got around Condon. Johnson has battled hard tonight. Back to Cameron to Collingwood. So Footscray going backwards. Martin. So the youngster, beautiful long kick deep into the forward line. Grant. So a touch of class on the forward line for Footscray.
It is the first time for the night that a Footscray forward has really looked like jumping and marking in what you'd call as a genuine contest.
So Grant had the better of Holland, playing at centre-half back. He was moved very late in that third quarter, wasn't he, Lee? And 50 metres.
Not sure who against, but matters little, I suppose, in the end.
So Chris Grant will kick his first goal for the night. and the Bulldogs 6th.
Now, but it wasn't a 50.
Well, he's got to go right onto the goal line.
What's that all about?
So Grant kicks a goal, but if it's a 50...
I don't know what that's all about, because he was going to kick the ball from about, 40 metres out. It was a 50-metre penalty, and he's taken to the middle of the goal square, the man on the mark. I've got no idea what that's all about.
I just wonder in those circumstances, just looking at that, I mean, I was looking at it, I wasn't quite sure either. I think it must have been that there was a Hawthorn player too close to Chris Grant as he came in to kick.
Yeah.
Now, what I'd love to see in that situation is someone actually the umpires give a decision so they can actually tell the people what's going on.
So we know who to blame.
Yes.
But it was the penalty that I couldn't work out.
But just on Grant taking that mark, Lee, what you said was absolutely true. He marked it well inside 50. Collins has to be standing on the goal line.
I would have, I got no idea.
The umpire cannot make that mistake. He must be standing on the goal line.
It's basically a 30-metre penalty.
Yes, here we go. Hawks try and work this at the back. We're in trouble, but terrific backup by the two veterans in Collins and Langford. Unfortunately, kicks it away. There's a free kick for a high tackle. Hargraves is not happy, but Johnson stood his ground very well in front and did get him high. Chips the ball up. Oh, it's set an awful task for Wirra. It really was a suicidal kick. Well, Wirra came at it. Neil Kelly, just an injury update.
Yes, young Jason Watts got a very nasty deep cut in the front of on his forehead there, and doubtful if he'll come back.
Yes, you'd think that's pretty right too, with 3 goals already and struggling. He just might sit it out. Salmon with the free kick on the boundary line. Been most productive, Paul Salmon. 9 kicks, 9 marks, 7 handballs. Very good indeed. The kick goes over player's head and out of bounds before Kapler can get there. Yes, just going back to that, I really would like to see the umpires indicate that when they see something, whether it be a voice or whatever, perhaps the umpires fraternity could actually show the crowd, a bit like they do in gridiron and rugby and all that sort of stuff. Perhaps we can learn from them. Why not? Salmon gets Wine out the way. That's intelligent play, isn't it? Then goes to Pritchard. Pritchard goes into centre half forward. Quill punches well away from Kapler. Here's McCabe. Wants to set up his teammate Hargraves. And the old 1-2. Can he finish it off? Coming hard is Lawrence. And takes a well-judged mark. So Lawrence just on the ground for Daniel Chick. And Steve Lawrence, premiership player, just kicked the 1 goal this year. Only 25 in his career, so he hasn't been a major goal kicker. So we'll kick from about in that mud though, 40 metres. It's a nice leg. It's a lovely leg. They've got their first goal in the last quarter.
He'd be pretty happy about that. Lawrence has started on interchange, and basically he's only come onto the ground when Ilya Gritic has played in the full forward line for Footscray, and the Hawthorn have needed Lawrence's extra height to match him up. Apart from that, he's pretty been on and off the ground. So when he's given a chance to play in the forward line, play offensively, made himself a target. Then his height jumped into it and marked it and kicked it well.
So Taylor with quick hands. The ball comes back to Graham. Kicks deep down to 50. High fly. Great mark by Hudson. He's got a loose player on the flank. Crawford.
It's a super mark. I don't think I've seen Paul Hudson get up that high before.
So Crawford, who was benched early in this last term when he got a little bit frustrated, is back on the ground. Will be kicking from 45 metres. Starting to come back. He's kicked a goal.
And he'd be pretty happy about that, wouldn't he, Shane Crawford? I mean, Jose Romero had done a pretty good close checking role, but as Hawthorn have got clear, Footscray have just let their midfield